Okay, I think we've managed to set it all. As usual, let me share everything, and you guys let me know if in the meanwhile how it's all going. I'll share this just a second, as usual. Have to do all the regular bits at the beginning. And hopefully you shouldn't hear too much chaos in the background. In the meanwhile, you let me know if it's all okay with the audio and everything. Let me write this. Hi, everybody. I'll be right with you. Just a second. I'll share it for everybody over on social media. Just a second. This will take just a moment. Oh, I was hoping I'd manage to do everything perfectly for the time, but where is it? Where is it? Okay. So much to share. Hi, Kotar. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Thank you for joining. I'll be right with you guys. Welcome back, Debbie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Just a second that I'm sharing. Every time I say next time, the live will be more organized. And then it's the same right until the end. But it just takes a second and then it should be good. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for following. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I'll be right with you. So today, there wasn't a specific topic I'd like to speak about, but as you know, there have all been these new trailers that have been released. Tenet, I'm going to see it in 2 days. The Batman trailer was out. A bunch of trailers were released. So there's a bit to speak about. Love from India and ciao. Hey everybody, ciao. If you want to comment in Italian, se volete commentare in italiano, it's no problem, non c'è nessun problema. Possiamo parlare sia in italiano che in inglese. Just a moment, we're nearly there. Have to share it. So, as I was saying, the topic will mostly be about these new, not mostly, but I would like to speak about all these new trailers that have been released, and everybody's excited about the Batman, as well as of course Tenet being released in a couple of days. I have spoken a lot about Tenet, and I can imagine everybody be really annoyed by me just always speaking about it. If you want to talk about it, it's fine for me. Tenet and Christopher Nolan, always fine. I think I've already done this. I've done this. Just a moment. Okay, I'm from Morocco. Hi from Morocco. I wonder what time it is over there, because I was trying to find as always a time that would fit everybody's schedule. So it should be late in the evening in India, where I know quite a few people follow from there. So I try to keep it to do a time for them too. And it's the morning in America and it's mid-afternoon in Italy. So I'm trying to keep the same time. Let me just upload the last things. Nearly done it. Ciao, sono donna intelligente, simpatica, preparata e stupendamente bella. Grazie, decima mas, troppo gentile, veramente. Have we done this? Is it all done? Is it all ready? Did we manage? I think we did. I think we managed. Let's see. Okay, and we're good to go. We managed. Okay, so hello everybody. If you have a specific topic you'd like to speak about, let me know. If you can hear me weird anyway along this, let me know. As always, I want to get back to streaming on Twitch. I'd like to do that. So following after when Tenet will be released, I have to do the Tenet videos and so on. Then I'll get back to also streaming on Twitch. YouTube is just the easiest at the moment. Also with work and everything, it's easier to stream here. But I will be back on Twitch with the green screen and everything organized over there. So as I was saying, the topic I put as the title of this video was the Batman and everything else, me and all these new trailers that have been released. A few of them I still have to see, but I've seen nearly everything. But we can speak of different topics. So if you have any questions, anything different you'd like to speak about, just let me know. Hi, Tyler. Hi, thank you for joining. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all good. Hopefully nothing will fall down. We have Christopher Nolan here overseeing us. We have the Inception spinning top. Actually, I might show you. I don't think I've ever showed anybody this. This was a present I received from a friend of mine 2 years ago. And it's, well, there's Your Mind is the Scene of the Crime, which was, I think was like the title, the tagline, how'd you say it, on the film. And then when you open it up, this is one of those 2009 unboxings where people had to keep their hand like this. So then inside it, well, there's a note from my friend, but then here it is. There you go, the spinning top. And the odd thing is, the few times I tried to spin this actually spins for a very, very long time. Like the last time I spun it, which was when I went to see Inception just a few days ago, I came home and I took this out and I spun it on the table, and it wasn't stopping. It just kept on going and going, and it was pretty creepy. It was getting pretty creepy when it wasn't stopping anymore. And then it says, you're never going to read. Oh yeah, you can see it, and it says Inception on the back. And then you also have the dice. This would be the weighted dice from the film. Now, theoretically, I wouldn't be able to touch any of these if we were in Inception. Then we have the note in here. Yeah, that was a gift from a close friend of mine, which is up here. Sorry, I keep on looking down because that's where I see myself, but I should look over here. So we've got that in the back there. We've got Christopher Nolan overseeing us, waiting for Tenet. Then I took him down because he kept on falling over. If anybody recognizes him from Fantastic Beasts. But he was here. He's always here in my videos in the corner, but he kept on falling down. Then up here in the background, we have the Trainspotting CD, which is very battered. This was actually given to me from a Scottish friends of mine. So that was pretty exciting. As you know, Trainspotting is all set in Scotland, and it's pretty old and pretty battered. And there it is, all is inside. So we have that up there. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but it's because I'm always scared that everything will fall down on me during a live stream. Yeah, we don't have anything else. I've kind of moved. We have the Lord of the Rings trilogy here, my plant here, which oddly enough is still thriving and surviving. And then, well, all my books and my CDs and DVDs around here. Let me see if anybody. Ciao, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Snyder Cut. Yes, I think the last time we spoke about the Snyder Cut in a live stream was during the lockdown a couple of months ago, like say 2 months ago, something like that, when I had basically no idea what the Snyder Cut was. So I knew I had heard about it, and I knew it was something that was going to happen, and everybody was excited about it, but I hadn't actually understood what it was all about. And then I was speaking with one of the tech guys. I go to film in Milan often, and they're the tech guys that like you up and they film you and do everything. And during the break, I was speaking with one of them, and he was so excited about this Snyder Cut. So he was basically explaining to me better all about it. And I didn't knew all about the death of Snyder's daughter and how that had stopped all the process. I'd never known about that. So I felt pretty bad about it because I'd always been joking about, oh, the Snyder Cut, and he dropped out and he didn't finish and didn't complete it. But I didn't know there was actually because his child had died during the production of the film. But now there's the new trailer has been released. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Justice League. I think a lot of people weren't huge fans of it. So I am relatively curious of knowing how it will turn out. I'm not really hyped up about it. I'm more hyped up, obviously, about Batman because I really like, the Batman films in general. There's Robert Pattinson in it. I would have a ton to say about Robert Pattinson, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear me speak about Robert Pattinson because I'm always going on about him, but I'm always trying to emphasize how he is not the guy from Twilight. And I saw somebody complain and saying, I'm fed up of hearing people saying he's not the guy of Twilight. So he receives hate even for people trying because people are trying to, you know what I mean? It's always everything he does, he'll receive some hate about it. Okay, this just means you're dreaming less. Yeah, it was creepy. It was creepy. I kept on spinning the top, and it just kept on and on and on spinning. And if you've seen the film, you'll know what I mean. There's a particular scene with the top spinning on the table, and it got pretty creepy at a certain point. Cute demon, hello Debbie, hello to you. Ciao Debbie da Tommaso, ciao Tommaso. From a scale from 1 to 10, how hot is the new Batman with eye makeup on? Now I realized that I think or most of the Batman characters have to wear, the actors, they have to wear, or the characters that portray Bruce Wayne basically has to wear the black makeup, because otherwise there'd be the space between his mask and his eyes. But then I realized we never actually saw Christian Bale from the Dark Knight trilogy wearing this black eye makeup. So I had to look the other day, yesterday basically, when I saw the trailer, and yesterday, yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah. Basically there are some on behind the scenes photos of Christian Bale with the black eye makeup without the mask on, but you can barely see him. It's like there's a scene, the interrogation room scene where Batman is with Joker in this, the police station. There's a behind the scenes photo of that, and you can see Christian Bale wearing black eye makeup. But definitely Robert Pattinson with that black eye makeup. One, yes, he does look hot in that, but two, that definitely doesn't help him with cancelling his emo boy Twilight vampire past. That definitely that made a lot of people cringe. But yeah, he looks fantastic. He really does look fantastic as the Batman. He looks like a pretty violent Batman, like on a physical level, like the fight scenes. That's pretty intense. It doesn't look like a lot of gadgets, but him actually fighting. It does look pretty intense. BTS, love from India. Cute demon, hi from India. Sorry it's so late for you guys. I think it's around nearly midnight at this point. Hi Christina, hi, thank you for joining. Show us the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's here. Let me see if I can. I had some issues with one of the boxes because it keeps on opening, but I can show you. So, the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Then, where is it? I'm scared everything will fall here. Here's the Two Towers. I think this is the defective one. Yeah, here it is. It's always opening because it doesn't close anymore. Two Towers, and then we have the Return of the King, the best one out of the whole trilogy. Look at that. These obviously like the tapes, the VHSs, and they're always here. Let me see if I put them in the right order. By the way, I'd realized that in one of my videos, in quite a few of my videos, they were all in the wrong order. And I imagined like, oh shit, somebody must have realized and commented like about that. Okay, Magical Mystery Tour LP on the left. Yes, I forgot to mention that. All the way from New York. Haven't opened this yet. By the way, the other day I saw somebody commenting on a video, not one of my videos, saying how they hate people who just keep their discs like that and they don't actually play them. But I don't have any means to play this. This was actually a very special product I bought when I was in New York in an old shop with a very kind guy, and that's always here with me. I don't think we have anything other. Well, this I think I've already showed this in either video or live stream. It was a gift from one of my friends, and it's basically all collections of films. Oh, this is so bad with this lighting, but basically, see, it's all collections of different films, and they're split by topic. So let me see if I can find some. So there's like, okay, all the different genres, like horror, science fiction, musical, etc. And then it has like films about animals, films like remakes, prequels, sequels. There's like quotes. I'm translating for Italian, sorry. Films like with very famous recipes, films about cinema, and then if they've won like film awards and so on. And what I've been doing is I've been highlighting the ones I have seen, and I'm trying to, you know, watch as many as possible. So for example, here it is going by year, and when I see them, I highlight them. So then there are some pretty interesting choices. Of course, this is going towards more recent times. Everything basically is highlighted. See, there's like Arrival by Denis Villeneuve, La La Land, Manchester by the Sea, Moonlight. These are all like 2016, 2017 films. But then it goes obviously all the way back like to the 1930s and 1940s. It actually goes back all the way to 1895 with the first films ever made. And there's nothing highlighted there. Although, you know, I have seen like clips of some of those older films, but obviously I haven't seen, not obviously, actually, that's not an excuse. I think, yeah, the first one that I've highlighted is 1937. That's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And then there's The Wizard of Oz on 1939. If you can believe that The Wizard of Oz is actually from 1939. That's nearly 100 years old. But then if you want to, while we're showing everything, there is all the Harry Potter books here. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, a very cursed book that a lot of people don't like. Now J.K. Rowling is in a bit of a mess because of a lot of statements she's been saying. Child books about Harry Potter, just, these aren't like regular canon books. They're just books other people have written. There's nothing much interesting. The other interesting things are at the top here. For example, there's the Niffler from Fantastic Beasts. Hopefully nothing will fall down, but box set with the original Star Wars trilogy. Let's see if I can pull this out without making a total mess and without things falling on me. I could actually do a tour of all of this one day. Here they are. The original ones. The original trilogy, that's all in the special box set here. That wasn't me farting, it was the box. Just wanted to clarify that. Some of the DVDs here. Interstellar always at the top there. There you go. When I went to LA the first and only time I went to LA, I wanted to take this with me, and I can't remember if in the end I took it on, because I said, what if by any chance I meet Christopher Nolan? Because I actually went to his address. Like, I know he hates, he's one of those people who understandably hates his privacy being invaded, and he doesn't take basically any photos with fans. He has done very, very few fan photos outside from events. So just meeting him on the street and so on. And we discovered that his address, like where he lives, was literally 2 roads, so 2 streets down from where we were staying. That's how insane it was. So I was like, I can't just walk along his street and just, something would happen. I might meet him, and then what would I do? Because he hates his privacy being invaded, but I wouldn't be able to resist. So we did actually walk down his road. We saw his house. It looks like he had some chickens in his backyard. There was a lot of clucking, is it the noise they do of the chickens? But yeah, so what I wanted to do was take this, and if I ever met him, I was like, I know you don't want to take a photo with me, but can you at least just sign my Interstellar DVD? So that then he would say, no, Interstellar should have to be seen on the big screen. It's not worth on TV. And I don't think I have anything. There's The Hobbit there, some of the books I've spoken about. But yeah, let me see if there are any other comments, because I was losing track of what I was saying. Non credi che il Batman di Christian Bale rimarrà imbattibile? So Edo da Novara ti risponde in inglese così capiscono tutti. E Edo asks, don't I think that Christian Bale's Batman will be undefeated, like the best Batman out there? I don't know, because well, definitely Ben Affleck. Sorry, Ben, but I think we can all agree that his Batman wasn't a great one. but I always like, I love Christian Bale as Batman, I really do. But I'm always open to new films, and I'm not trying to defend Robert Pattinson before the film is even out. But I am intrigued to see what he'll do. I really am. Just as there can always be another Joker, for example, when this new Joker film came out, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, but Heath Ledger's Joker can't be, can't you know." It will always be the best Joker. He will always have done the best Joker. Now, when this new Joker film came out, a lot of people actually admitted that this was a pretty good rendition, but they were different, totally different Jokers, totally different projects. That doesn't mean that proves that not only one person can portray a character. Sorry, my grammar today. Ciao, and then another ciao, ciao a tutti, ciao Debbie, tutto molto bello con Pattinson a Snyder Cut, ma vogliamo parlare del trailer di Black Adam col voice-over di The Rock, sono riusciti a fare The Rock cattivo. Ciao Manuel, allora sì, ho visto il trailer di Black Adam, o comunque credo, aspetta, ti rispondo in inglese. Sorry, I was answering in Italian, but I will answer in English. So Manuel says that he's talking about the Black Adam trailer with the Rock as a bad guy, as the evil guy. So I guess the only trailer I saw was that short clip. But there wasn't that much to see. I was pretty excited about it, and I also saw some photoshopped pics of that old photo of the Rock with the fanny pack sort of just leaning like that, and I saw him done as Black Adam. That was fine, but there's not that much much footage out there. But yes, to hear his voiceover was kind of weird, to not see him as the hero ready to save the day. Ciao Debbie, secondo te qual è il miglior film di Batman? So Daniele asks what's the best Batman film, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I keep on trying to answer in Italian and getting all mistaken. So I'm not a total expert about the older Batman films. My most recent one that I liked was The Dark Knight, and I also like Joker, although there's not really the Batman in it, really. You only see him for a very short time. It's really a film that could even not be set within a Batman canon universe. So I do like The Dark Knight. Hello, I love your videos. Hi, License to Destroy. Thank you so much. Marcus Lee, I love how Pattinson's Bruce Wayne looks like he's seen some serious fucked up shit. Yes, I like that too. I've seen how some people have commented that this Batman doesn't look like your strong hero. He looks pretty messed up. He does. He looks like he needs some serious sleep. Some people have said he looks a bit like a junkie. I don't think that would be the case, but he does look like he's seen some messed up shit, like fucked up shit, as you say. And that's pretty interesting. It's a bit like when in the Dark Knight trilogy, we see the moment in which Christian Bale is really weak. He can barely do what he used to be able to do, and that shows you how human of a character he is. So pretty interested about that. Good on Pattinson for beating the typecast like Efron. That's exactly right. Yes, he's managed to step out of that. Some of those actors have been stuck in being typecast in the same characters. Robert Pattinson could have gone on for years doing romantic comedies. He probably would have done many more films. He probably would have ended up in so many more films, romantic comedies or dramas. He would have been cast in so many titles. Instead, in the end, he didn't do that many films, but he's done some pretty good stuff. Last night, actually, I watched a film of his I'd never seen, and I'm trying to catch up with the last few titles of his I haven't seen before watching Tenet, and I watched Cosmopolis. And when I first started watching it, I was like, no, I can't do this. It just nothing made sense. And by the end, it had me so caught up. Basically, in Cosmopolis, Robert Pattinson portrays this billionaire. He's immensely rich, and most of the film is set with in his limousine. He's in a stretch limo while he's going around the city, and he's trying to go and have a haircut. That's his destination. And along the way, he meets different characters and he speaks with them. Most of them come in his car to speak with him. And a lot of what they say doesn't make any sense, or at least it has no context. For example, he meets his wife or his lover, and a lot of what they're saying would need some context. It's obviously a couple who's who know each other well, and so they don't provide any context to what they're saying. And it keeps on like this until it actually reaches where it's going to. And at that point, it's so messed up, and it's really interesting. And at the beginning, Rob Pattinson's character wasn't particularly interesting. He was just like this spoilt rich guy. And the character arc over the course of the film was absolutely incredible. It really got me. The next film of his I want to watch, and I might watch that this night, is The Lost City of Z, or Z. I don't even know what it speaks about, because basically I've never seen a trailer. I just saw the first sentence. And I've been trying not to read what films are about, since Netflix has ruined a couple of films for me by literally saying what happens until halfway into the film. So that's the next one of his I want to see. And all of these are completely different from what he used to do at the beginning. And I know this is a fear a lot of actors have had. I know Leonardo DiCaprio was really scared back at the time after he had done Titanic. He was really scared he'd be stuck in that role of, you know, the romance, the beautiful guy from a romantic film. And in the end, look what he went on to doing. So yeah, so that's what Robert Pattinson did. Okay. Christina, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining. I'm always so pleased to read your comments under my videos. I'm always so pleased that you're joining us. Dalabag, it's 8:30 in Pakistan. Okay, so it's not particularly late, because I know that in some countries at the moment it's like midnight, and I was like, no, I hope everybody can manage to join. I always have to try and find a time that fits great for everybody. Robert Pattinson proved his Robert Pattinson proved his acting chops with The Lighthouse, in my opinion. He'll prove himself again in Tenet and upcoming The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland. He's a great actor, people will see. That's right, The Devil All the Time. That's another film I'd love to speak about. The Devil All the Time is a film that will be released on Netflix at the beginning of September. And there's a very confusing trailer that's been released last week, basically, with an incredible cast. And from what I gather from the trailer, because me and my friend both watched it, and then we texted each other like, I need to watch that again. From what I gather, Robert Pattinson portrays a particular preacher. I don't know if he's violent. He has a very violent way of speaking. I think he's going to be one of those, how would you say it? One of those people with a dubious morality, if that makes any sense. Somebody who might be in the role of a preacher, be in a very public role, but then have a private life which involves very different things. Or it might be something along the lines of First Reformed, so with Ethan Hawke, in which the preacher is open to considering very different opinions to his own, if you see what I mean. The First Reformed is a film by A24 in which this preacher basically counsels a couple which is really depressed, mostly because the husband has some very nihilistic views on the world. He is well aware of the consequences that we've been causing, the effects we've been causing on the environment. He says there's no point going on in this world like this. There's no point in having children. And he's basically counseling this couple, and then the situation evolves from that. So he's pretty open-minded towards the views these people have towards the world, instead of being, positive and believing in God and believing that everything will fix itself and so on. By the way, I just realized this light is so bright. Hopefully that's a little better. I had everything just in my face. In makeup at 9 p.m. in India. Ok, so it's not too late after all. Il make-up non lo aiuta, ma credo sia un'ottima parte per lui. Si merita tutto il successo che sta avendo, anche considerando che sceglie parti particolari per scrollarsi addosso la saga. Esatto, Tommaso. So Tommaso was saying that, still referring to Pattinson's makeup, that we were saying that definitely didn't help from him moving away from his emo Twilight phase. But he does deserve everything. And it's true. He could have, just said, you know what? I'm going to make millions just staying in that role. I can just keep on doing romantic films for, the next 10 years, and that'll be fine for me. But he didn't really. He changed, and he's done really different roles. He's got very different roles along his career. And the highlight was last year with The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was absolutely incredible. It was a very difficult role for him, in my opinion. In The Lighthouse, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe portray two guys who are stuck on an island They're basically the caretakers. No, not caretakers. How are you called? When you the maintenance men, the maintenance guys of this stranded lighthouse on an island, and they start to suffer from cabin fever. They don't get on well together. They don't have that much food. The weather conditions are absolutely awful. It just rains and it's freezing. And, you know, they start to lose their mind a little. And Robert Pattinson had this very particular character who, as he starts to get more and more insane, he starts to talk in even weirder ways. He starts drinking. He starts acting in an odd behavior. And apparently, to do all this, he would basically make himself go slightly crazy just before acting the scenes, before taking on these scenes. So he, for example, to make himself look dizzy, he'd start turning around and around, and then he'd be out in the mud and in the water and everything. That was an excellent role of his, which was very odd. It didn't go to the Oscars. Very, very odd. It was nominated for cinematography, but I think both Willem Dafoe and him weren't nominated in the end. Keep It Sealed is the original anyway, since in UK it was an EP. This, Jimmy, yes, it's all sealed. Comunque Robert Pattinson anche nel nuovo film di Netflix, una specie di thriller assieme a Tom Holland. Esatto. So next was, again, speaking of The Devil All the Time, which is the new film. Do you ever watch old movies from the 30s, 40s? Christine asks. I haven't watched that many films from the 30s and 40s, as I was shown here. Back at the time, I haven't watched that many old films. I think the ones I watched were like the original Disney films, and then let me have a look if there's anything else highlighted here, because I'm thinking, like, let me see. Let's see. So the first one was Snow White and Seven Dwarfs from 1937. Then I put The Wizard of Oz for 1939. Dumbo 1941, Bambi 1942. So these are all like the original Disney films. And then it skips way forward. There's like Psycho from 1960. Now these are only the films that are put in here. But obviously there could be many more there. By the way, I just saw that they put the list of the top 10 films of all time. These are the top 10, of which I've only seen 2. And that is 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Godfather. Obviously, I'm trying to watch all of them, but because of time restraints. Actually, this year has been the only year in which, with no releases, I've been managing to watch so many films on my watch list. Esce a settembre. Those 8 Harry Potter books are pretty tattered. They are. Look at this one. Look at this Harry Potter book. I used to be absolutely obsessed with Harry Potter. Like, if we went to the seaside, I would literally take this with me, and I would reread it and reread it and reread it all over again. And then my siblings would read it. So that's how it is. And I feel so bad about that. I feel so bad. Look how old it is. Some of them are kept pretty well. I mean, look at this one. Oh, apart from the fact there. But that's kept in pretty decent conditions. And this one is different, actually. It's from like the adult covers they'd made for the new ones. It's not like the other ones, and this one is kept in pretty decent conditions. And then we have, I think I've shown these in some videos, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Quidditch Through the Ages, the 2 little ones. There you go. So I'm losing the comments. This is in Spanish. Oscar, pasa solo a dejarmi me gusta y a decirte que eres realmente hermosa porque no capisco la mazza de inglese. Okay, Oscar, I think I might have understood what you said. I'm sorry for butchering everything in Spanish. Thank you so much. Who's the new villain? Everybody's been saying that it's the Riddler. If we're speaking still about, sorry, I got all dust on my hands. The Riddler. Queste transizioni inglese-italiano get me every time. Yeah, having to switch quickly from Italian to English. My brain starts exploding with its cambiamenti from English to Italiano. Bloody miseria. Bloody Miseria is beautiful. Buon pomeriggio, Debbie. Buon pomeriggio, Sahil. Ciao, Debbie. Do you speak Spanish? No. In fact, I tried to read it in Spanish. In Italy, we can kind of understand Spanish when it's written, or we can figure out more or less where the conversation is going, but I won't be able to speak it. Volevo chiederti, vedevi la serie Highlander? Se sì, cosa ne pensi? Mi dispiace, ma no, non ho visto. Dave lo snob puccioso, i migliori creator hanno sempre un disco dei Beatles con loro. Grazie. 11 a.m. in Chile. Okay, so we've kind of managed to find the right time for everybody. Debbie, che ne pensi del nuovo Batman di Ben Affleck? Allora, secondo me, sorry, I'll say that in English. So, Sakin is asking what I think about Ben Affleck's Batman. I think even Ben Affleck at one point admitted his Batman wasn't particularly generating enthusiastic reactions. I don't know. I didn't find he conveyed any particular emotions. I think Batman is like a sort of conflicted character, this sort of vigilante. But I don't know. But Ben Affleck just didn't convey anything. I don't know. He was just a block of muscles with a serious face and nothing more. That's what I felt from his character. So no, I think that he at one point he must have accepted the fact that a lot of people didn't particularly enjoy him. If he's returning in other films, he will have to put at least more of a enthusiastic on any end of the spectrum. And it doesn't mean he has to be a happy Batman, but just a more emotion-packed performance. Allora, concordo con quelli che dicono che questo Batman ha atmosfere che ricordano Daredevil, non troppo buono per il ruolo, ma per me non era molto male. I'm missing because there are a few comments from the hack. Domanda personale, qual è stato il tuo percorso di studi? So C3M is asking, what did I study? I've studied languages all my life. I've basically studied languages both in high school and a bit at university and privately. Because I've always studied English, but I already spoke English, Italian because we're in Italy, and then German and French. I have mostly forgotten my French. I can read it, I can understand what's written, I can basically figure out what people are saying, but I'm awful at writing it and speaking it. I used to be pretty good at French. German, I'm pretty good in German, and I have to speak it at work, so that keeps it fresh in my mind. Otherwise, I would have forgotten everything. Is there any room about new film of Scorsese? Is it the what's it called? The Killing Moon. Where's my phone so I can search for it? Something, The Killings of the Moon. Let me see if I can remember what it was. Let me find it again. Scorsese. Yeah, I think it was something Moon, but I have no idea what it's going to be about. I think I'd read about it a while back. Killers of the Flower Moon, that's what it was. Killers of the Flower Moon, Killers of the Flower Moon, the Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI. That's the book on which it's based. And it's about the Osage Indian murders. The book is currently planned for production as a film directed by Martin Scorsese. I'm not going to look up more about it. This is well, you can't see it because of the light, but this is from Wikipedia. I'm scared if I open it, I'll spoil the film for myself. But yeah, I don't know much about it. Probably it'll be like Leonardo DiCaprio or Robert De Niro in it because they're always working together. The new film of Scorsese is going to enter production in February 2021, so it's coming out at the end of 2021, 2022. Yeah, I assume that if here it was indicated for 2021 before all the COVID situation, it will be by at least the end of 2021. Not a film question. Which football club do you follow? I don't follow football. I really don't. I don't particularly enjoy watching it. I watch it when people, my family watch it all together. It just happens to be on the TV, but I've never been particularly enthusiastic about it. The only times I enjoy watching football is when there's a World Cup. I like watching that. I don't mind, or even just the European Cup. Quali sono le tue idee politiche, I tuoi orientamenti? So I've been asked, what are my political ideas? I hope you guys don't hear the guy that's mowing the lawn literally outside my window. I'm going to answer in English. I never really speak about politics here on my channel. I know that when I did that famous video, the most popular video on my channel, the one in which the I hate Italy, odio l'Italia video, which I don't hate Italy. If you watch the video, you'll know that. Thanks to all the nice, kind death threats I received on that video from people who didn't watch it, but it's none of you guys, because I know those people never followed the rest of my channel. They just came, commented, and left. So I know you guys know me and understand me. I never speak about my political ideas, but when that video was released, a lot of people started commenting and asking for me to speak about politics. Some people said I should enter in politics. No, I don't think I'll ever do politics. I don't know. I don't think I've ever spoken about politics, because I don't think I've ever found one political party or one person that's fulfilled all my ideas, if you see what I mean. And I also find that myself, I have some contrasting ideas on topics, depending, I'm still trying to find out what my clear idea about some topics is. And also because it changes depending on the situation you're in. No, ti ho chiesto solo cosa ne pensi del Batman di Ben Affleck. No, ti ho chiesto, sì, ti ho già risposto, forse ci siamo persi nei commenti. Being good in German is another reason to watch Dark. Yeah, I did watch Dark in German, but the only reason I did this torturous thing to myself, because Dark is complicated enough, but Dark in German was even more complicated, was because the English dubbing was atrocious. I've noticed this a couple of times with foreign shows that are then dubbed into English. It's awful. I don't know what Netflix is doing with this. I don't know why it's so bad. So I just couldn't relate to the characters. Sometimes they were totally depressed and sad about a thing, and the dubbing would be all like cheery and bright. I was like, no, it just doesn't connect to the character. So I watched it in German, so then it would be the original voice, but it was pretty complicated. I needed the subtitles on that, because it was pretty hard to understand. What are your thoughts on Robert Pattinson's sports car Batmobile? I can't express myself too much, because I don't know. I didn't take in many details about it. Debbie, when are you going to make a lo-fi version of videos with instrumentals made by your friends? Do you mean like me sitting here like that girl in that famous video, just lo-fi beats for study? But with my friend violently playing the piano in his house with the red and blue lights in the background. What do you think about Sergio Leone's films? You can all hate on me now. You can all immediately click off because I'm no expert on Sergio Leone. If we open up here and we find any of his films, I doubt that 5 of them would be highlighted on there. I really highly doubt. And I know you all hate it on me right now, but I'm really bad with old films. I mean, seriously bad. I mean, look at that. This is at the beginning. You're not going to be able to see it. Let me see if I come closer. Look at that. That's, oh, you can't see it. That none of it is highlighted at the beginning. None of it. None of it. And then when you move later on, then it starts to become highlighted. And it's still not that much. Also because people who compile these are like, they always have to put like really niche, weird films that only they've seen. So say we go to the last page, like this is the last page. So that's 2017, 2018, and nearly everything's highlighted. And what's missing is, I don't know. Let me see if there's anything. Oh no, Mary Poppins Returns, I've seen that. There's Asghar Farhadi, that I think that went to the to the Oscars, but I haven't seen that. So Tutti lo sanno, I don't know. It's written in Italian here, so I don't know the original title. Terry Gilliam's film, Unsane. I haven't seen quite a few of these. There's, they're all written in Italian. There's Call Me By Your Name, but I've seen that. Why didn't I highlight that? Detroit. Mektub, My Love, Abdellatif Keshishe. I mean, that's not exactly one of the most famous films. I mean, it's put there just under Lady Bird, so it's not like I can see every single one of these films. But now I'm realizing that there are quite a few films I have seen, but that I haven't highlighted. There, Silver Linings Playbook. Haven't highlighted that. So they might American Hustle, Her. I haven't highlighted these, so I guess I have to go back through it. But nothing back in the early days. I was terrible there. Okay, wait. Thoughts on emo hair in general, as an emo or Robert Pattinson's emo Batman? No, I used to be an emo kid back at the time. I guess it's something that sticks over the course of the years. You can kind of tell who used to be an emo at the time. And I didn't have particularly sheen hair, but I did have, the bangs and the colorful streaks in my hair. I had it dyed purple and red. Stasera ritorno in sala per vedere Onward e giovedì Tenet. Ricominciamo. Yes, Dave, that's going back to the cinemas to see Onward. I went back a few days ago and I watched Inception. Thursday to watch Tenet. I already have my ticket for Tenet. No, sorry, not on Thursday. On Wednesday evening, I'm going to watch Tenet. So expect my Tenet trailer to be out on Thursday towards the evening. So it should be pretty soon. Actually, it will be pretty soon. It's like in 2 days' time. What do you think about Mindhunter? Do you think they're going to do the 3rd season? I really liked Mindhunter. I really, really enjoyed it. Speaking of Mindhunter, we can pull down another book from here. Oh, let's see if I manage to pull this down without destroying everything. Okay, see this book. I think I've spoken about it sometime. Sorry, I keep on looking down, but it's the only way I won't cover my face. This book here is, it looks like one of those kids' books, like the Guinness World Records, kind of like flashy book, but it's actually, it's like, it's more like a textbook where it basically speaks about serial killers and about all the science that goes on behind it. So it's pretty thorough in what it explains. It doesn't fall into like the cliches of, oh my God, that's so insane what they've done. No, it tries to figure out why these people committed these crimes, and it tries to enter in the mind of the person saying, okay, I wouldn't do that, but I can see why they thought that, and I can see why they lost control. And that's basically what the series Mindhunter tried to do, because it's based on the real story of the first FBI agents who stopped thinking in the way of stopped thinking these people who commit crimes are insane. Let's just catch them, put them in a prison, forget they exist, kill them if possible, and that will eradicate the problem. No, these FBI agents started to think, what if we start to figure out why they think in this way, and then we can prevent other people from acting in the same way. And obviously this was considered something absolutely outrageous, because obviously when we're speaking about specific sexual fetishes and desires and murderous thoughts, it's hard to admit that you can kind of figure out where that thought is coming from. And trying to say, okay, I can see how this person is insane, but I can see the reasoning. And this is what this book does, because it's actually written by a guy with a particular input from FBI agents who worked on these cases. And Mindhunter does the same thing. And that's why I really enjoyed it. If they do a 3rd season, I would be more than happy to watch it, because I really liked it. So anyway, this is why when you see this from the cover, looks like something for a kid to shock them, but then it's just all like this. It's all like the science that goes on behind it. There's some things I can't show because there's some pictures and some sketches that the artists have done, not the artists, that the killers have done of their victims. But yeah, I wonder if there's anything I can show you without. No, there's just some things like this that I can show, which is like the Zodiac's letter. I don't think there's anything I can show you without it being, without my channel being deleted forever from YouTube. But yeah, one day if you want, I can actually show more about what's here behind. Dovresti recuperare I film di Leone, meritano davvero tanto. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with the Leone films. Fai soldi con YouTube, Pattinson's. Well, YouTube, so Jordan is asking if I make money on YouTube. I do make some money on YouTube, as most YouTubers do. Obviously, it's not a huge amount of money. To make a huge amount of money, you would need many more views, but I still do make a little money on YouTube, and it's thanks to you guys, and I'm always so appreciative of this and for following all my videos. You're so kind. Thoughts on the Flash series Crisis on Infinite Earths crossovers? Jordan, I'm so sorry, but I didn't watch the series. I'm sorry. Then, hai per caso visto Mindhunter, frammenti di omicidio? No, non ho visto. Credevo, I thought you were asking about no, there was Mindhunter before. Manhunter is something else. No, I haven't seen him. Did you watch any of the Warner animation series or animated movies? And if you did, is there any story or scene in particular that you really liked? I'm sorry for being absolutely boring today with everything you guys are asking me about, but I haven't watched it. Did you watch 18 regali? So, no, but I know that it's I hope I'm not, maybe it was a film you really liked, but I know that a lot of people didn't like it, if I'm not mistaken. It was something a bit like After, I hope, or maybe I'm getting mistaken with something else, but I haven't seen it. Secondo te è meglio Il Padrino o Il Padrino parte 2? Allora, rispondo in inglese. So they ask me if I like, if I prefer The Godfather or the second chapter of The Godfather. The third one, I think we're all just ignoring it because I don't think a lot of people liked it. I liked it. My favorite one is the original Godfather, the first one, but I really like the depiction that De Niro gives of Don Vito Corleone in his younger years in the Godfather Part 2. That's the part I like the most. So I would say the first one, but the second one has that really good part of De Niro. And if you are Italian, you will know that his Italian is actually pretty good there. He actually has to speak with like a Sicilian accent, a Sicilian dialect, and you can hear that it's a foreigner speaking it, but then by the time he was speaking it, by the time we see those scenes, he had been living in the United States for like nearly 20 years, something like that. So it's understandable that his Italian wouldn't be perfect. So it's pretty impressive. C'è il mostro differenze tra i serial nel libro? Cerchiamo subito. Let's see. I don't know how this is translated in English, but the killer that was in Florence, was it during like the 60s or 70s? Let's see. Let's see if I find something. Not that I can show you much from here without everything being deleted. So I'm looking under Florence because I don't know if he was called the Monster of Florence or like as an Italian, I can't remember, but let's see. Monster of Florence, here it is. Let's see if there's anything. I hope my neighbors aren't listening to me in this moment. Yeah, The Monster of Florence, which is described as one of the most gruesome and perplexing of modern murder mysteries. The series of crimes perpetrated by the so-called Monster of Florence has earned renewed notoriety in recent years as a case that inspired Thomas Harris to set his novel Hannibal in Dante's native city. in 1968. Yeah, basically it was a killer that would hunt down couples, so lovers that would go in parks or would like in private spaces, and then he would attack them while they were there alone. The Godfather Part 3 doesn't exist. Yeah, I think everybody universally acknowledges that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody saying, "Oh, I really like The Godfather Part 3." And the first time I watched The Godfather, I actually watched like the whole trilogy all together, literally just one film after the other. So I was about like 8 hours. No, I wouldn't say 8 hours, but like 7 hours in when it was like The Godfather Part 3, and it was not particularly. I wasn't particularly enthusiastic about it. I don't think anybody particularly liked it. Goodfellas or Casino? I think we were talking. Apologize for the truck going past, obviously, right now. Goodfellas or Casino? Okay, that's another hard one, but I think I'm going to go for Goodfellas. Quei bravi ragazzi. I really like Goodfellas. And I think that if you like Goodfellas, another film that you are going to like is The Irishman. I've always felt that The Irishman is sort of like a new Goodfellas years later. I'm sorry, but there are mosquitoes all over the place. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to drink some water in this with the really annoying ASMR noises. So yeah, I think I've answered all. I hope I didn't jump any questions back. And hopefully there wasn't like a ridiculous amount of noise in the background. I was wondering if because I'm looking at myself behind, if there was anything particularly interesting that I could show you from over here, but I don't think so. There's some of the VHSs up there. There was an old video on my channel in which I showed like all my old VHSs, but I think I might film that again because I don't think it's on my channel anymore. I think I deleted it a long time back. There's some other Harry Potter books up here, Harry Potter related ones, like all my crime books are here. Solitudine Numeri Primi, which for years was my favorite book. There's a Leonardo DiCaprio book about his biography, which should have some of my notes in it. This was given to me by my boyfriend literally the same evening Leonardo DiCaprio was nominated for his Oscar in The Revenant, which we all know he didn't deserve, but he deserved it for other films. But literally that evening there, he won the Oscar. Small pigs. So this book was actually pretty interesting because I think there's a lot of stuff many people don't know about DiCaprio's life, about his past, about, I must say it, the shitty childhood he had. There's no other way of describing it. And I know a lot of people are in denial about it. I know that he doesn't like to speak about it. And there's also lots of contrasting information. There's like this all about his father. And basically when Leonardo DiCaprio was a kid, he lived in poverty. And I'm not speaking about rich people who say, oh, I used to struggle when I was little, you know, we didn't have what we have now. No, literally, he was living in a really, really bad neighborhood of LA, and the father left the family and he was alone with his mother, who was struggling, you know, to make ends meet. And then when he went to school, he was bullied. Like, imagine Leonardo DiCaprio was really bullied, basically because he was incredibly skinny. And he was like this really like skinny, tiny kid. You know that he looks younger than his age. Well, as a kid, he looked even younger than his age. And then he was apparently like the only white kid in his class. And you know how kids always like to pick on anybody who's different. So he'd be like thrown into the dumpsters and so on. And then he'd like go around on the streets and he'd see stuff he wasn't supposed to see as a kid. Like he'd see people, you know, shooting up. He'd see people, you know, just publicly having sex and so on. And I know that's stuff that as a kid you don't really understand, but it's stuff that you know haunts you later on in life. And so that affected him. And that book's pretty interesting about that because I know that this, and what I'm going to say is just the opinion. I've been told off more than once for quoting what's written in that book, because I know the guy did his research, but still it's, you know, alleged information. But apparently, like, he got traumatized by, you know, seeing people like gay sex as a kid, and he didn't really understand what was going on. So as a young person, he struggled with having to do like same-sex kisses and so on. That obviously, that going on later in life, he managed to figure that all of that out, and he managed to accept everything, and he managed to sift through his thoughts. But as a kid, he I wouldn't say he was messed up, but he had an interest in upbringing, which you wouldn't expect from a guy that's so successful and assured in life and everything now. So that's an interesting book. Then there's The Hobbit. I think I've shown this. The Hobbit, with my favorite part of The Hobbit at the beginning is, let me show you, is this map. These books are kept better. These books on the side over here are kept better, although I think they're even older. I think I got this before the Harry Potter books. I just read it later on in life. Well, the Christopher Nolan book, that's more of like a textbook. There's nothing interesting to see, like to show you of that, but because it's literally very technical. Famous Five books. This is you want to see this is Romeo and Juliet. Look at how my Romeo and Juliet book is. This is from high school. This is how we used to study, where they literally just photocopy this. I apologize for if anybody's wondering about the copyright. This was literally given to me by my teachers. That is just Romeo and Juliet photocopied. I don't know how anybody would be able to study from that, but we had to somehow. Let me see if there's anything else of interesting to show you. Nah. Some DVDs. I think one day I can show you better everything that's on there. Let's see. The Goodfellas. They didn't capture him in 18 years appearance. The Florence monster. Yeah, in fact, but some people actually thought that the Zodiac killer was tied to the monster, the monster of Florence, because everything in his timeline kind of tied up with the other timeline. So a lot of people thought that when he went, if he moved from America to Italy, he had kept on with his murders there because they were pretty similar. Even the Zodiac would pick couples, lone couples, like for example by the lake or in a car, and he would go up and shoot them. And that was very similar to what the Monster of Florence did, and their timelines fitted pretty neatly. What do you think about Taxi Driver? For me, it's one of the best ever and my favorite. I really like Taxi Driver. I watched it a couple of times, and the first time I watched it, it didn't particularly impress me because I was pretty young, and I think I just watched it randomly just to watch it. And then when I rewatched it with a focused mind, I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I think that there are a lot of scenes. I don't know how to say this without giving away any spoilers, but a lot of scenes in which you can see the character basically on the edge, and it's that edge, that thing. I'm just about to go over the border. I'm just about to do this thing, but I'm not going to do it because there's still that tiny bit of sanity in my brain. For example, the scene with Jodie Foster. I'm not going to say anything because that would totally spoil everything. But there's one scene in which Robert De Niro's character Travis he's about to do something, but he doesn't do it. But it just takes that 1 second in his eyes to understand that's great acting, because you can see that he's really thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? I'll leave that to not spoil anything. Wait, I'm losing it. Rumori non si sono sentiti per niente comunque. Okay, so apparently you can't hear the chaos that's going outside my window. Considera Irishman il testamento di Scorsese per quanto riguarda i film sulla mafia. So Tommaso is saying the Irishman is basically Scorsese's Bible. Do you mean the Bible, or do you mean what he'll leave to the future generations about mafia films? Because yeah, The Irishman is one of his most epic films. A lot of people say it's too epic, too long, too much stuff put in it, too much of bringing back the old concepts. But I think it will stay in the future unless he keeps on and does something even bigger. But it will be one of Scorsese's last big films. It is an epic film. And I think that's why it's so similar to Goodfellas. Goodfellas really is just this epic, huge story. about African Americans, Italian Americans and the mafia. Danny Elfman or Hans Zimmer Batman theme. Sorry, there's mosquitoes here. Well, I am always, when it comes to Hans Zimmer, you know that I'm an absolute sucker for Hans Zimmer, and I actually already have my tickets for his next year concert. I already seen Hans Zimmer live in 2017. It was absolutely insane. It was the best concert of my whole life. I've seen a lot of big bands, a lot of my favorite bands. I mean, even Guns N' Roses and so on. But that Hans Zimmer concert in Milan, that was absolutely mind blowing. There's a whole video I've done about it, but just the acoustic of the whole place. This was a huge. It wasn't like a stadium because it was closed, but it was this huge arena. You can imagine how many thousands of people were in that place, and everybody was so quiet that you could hear Hans Zimmer's steps on the wooden stage as he was walking across it. When he played Time, so Inception, the final piece from Inception, you could literally hear him walking across the stage to play it. So thousands of people in silence to hear that. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And this year, the tickets came out for 2021. Now, actually, at the end of last year, and I've already got them in the same places for his concert next year, which will be amazing because of all the new music he's been doing. Imagine just Blade Runner 2049, just that. I can't wait to hear that live. And then there'll be Wonder Woman. There's going to be, what else did he do in the meanwhile? There was Dunkirk, Blade Runner. What else did he do? Oh, well, he's going to do the Bond film, isn't he? And he's doing, not Bond, Top Gun. So there are quite a few that he's doing now. Did you see Buscetta? It's a good one on the mafia. I've seen a documentary about Buscetta. I've basically seen the one that films everything that inside the courtroom. I think it was on YouTube or something. It wasn't a film I've seen. Oh, out of all the Batman actors there have been, do you have a favorite? Unfortunately, I'm very bad, as I was saying earlier, on the older Batman films. And I'm going to be totally boring and just go for Christian Bale because he's the one I know best out of, the one I'm more informed about. Have you read Dune? I bought it to read before I watched a new film. I wish I had my tablet, my Kindle here with me, because I did actually download Dune. So I'm going to say something that, again, every time I do a live stream, the truth comes out that I don't really know that much about a lot of topics. I'm all in the learning process. Basically, when Dune was announced as a film, everybody was so hyped about it, and everybody was so excited, and everybody was saying how they loved the books and so on. And then there was me never having heard of it. I literally had never heard of Dune. So a few months back, I downloaded it. I bought it on the Kindle, and I was supposed to watch it because then I was traveling to Poland and Germany. I thought, you know what, I'll be on the train for hours. I can read it there. And I did read a bit of it, but I'm not even halfway through it. But I am trying to catch up with it. They've started drilling outside, if you guys can hear. I can't believe it. But so I will have to wrap up, otherwise you're going to hear too much noise. But yeah, I have been trying to read it. Ti ricordi la famosissima serie Crime Story di Michael Mann? Ti piaceva? No. I feel so bad. I hope you guys can ask me about something that I actually know, because otherwise I'm just like, no. You should watch My Name is Khan in English dubbed. Thank you for the recommendation. And then Debbie dovevo andare alla live per saltarti consiglio con il mio solito film, Michael Giants piuttosto drammatico e butta via. Manuel, so che me l'hai consigliato e l'ho visto. L'ho visto e lo vedrai in English. I have seen I Kill Giants, and you will see me speaking about it in my end of the month video with everything together. Hello, Debbie. All the best to you and your family. Thank you, Max. To you too. It's okay, Debbie. Christian Bale is my personal favorite, so you're not boring. Do you think Mystic River is all-time great film? Yes, I like Mystic River. I like the film and I like the book. I think I prefer the book over the film. I don't know why. I think it has a more detailed description of the characters, or I think maybe it's one of those books where you create your idea of the characters, and then when you see them on film, they're very different. Basically, Mystic River is the story of a group of kids who they're friends, and they're playing on the street and so on. Then something happens to one of these kids. He is traumatized, and years later they're all moved on and they're all doing different jobs. One of them is a policeman, another one is, I wouldn't say a gangster, but he's got some pretty dodgy ties. Another one is just following his regular life, and then a crime happens, and all three of them are sort of, I wouldn't say tied into, but they have something to do with it. So, for example, one of them is the father, another one is the policeman on the case, another one has a dodgy background. All of that put together, and it's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely loved it. I would have never expected the ending. I think Sean Penn was absolutely great in the film. So yeah, that's both the film and the book. I love both of them. For you, who is better, De Niro, Al Pacino, Brandon, Nicholson, Hoffman, Kate, Nolte, or Hackman? Okay, so you'll know that I'm a huge fan of De Niro. I think he's a great actor. All of these are great actors, but I think my favorite one would be De Niro. I know that a lot of people say he has always these very stereotyped roles. He has become sort of this the Italian American dangerous old guy, if you see what I mean. He's always sort of, that's what people usually associate him with. But in reality, most of his roles are very different. He also has a bit of a danger to him. You'll never see a De Niro as this really good character, this really positive character. He's always got this sort of danger to him. And I think a lot of directors like to play on that element. They like to play on the fact that we associate him to that. One of the films I recently watched with him was Cape Fear. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I was literally scared of his character in the film. His character was so scary. Basically, he plays an ex-convict who was guilty. He was accused, and he was incarcerated for many years because of sexual assault. And when he comes out, he starts going after like the lawyer involved in his case and his family. And he's so dangerous, and his way of behaving, he just has this calm danger to him. And that's what I think what a lot of directors love to play. Of course, I love most of the other actors on here, but if I had to choose, yeah, I would choose him. Il Massimo said Joaquin Phoenix nei panni Joker in un Batman futuro. So Vittorio said the best would be to see again Phoenix as Joker in another Batman film. Now, I wonder if you guys can hear me, because I can see that the microphone is acting a bit weird. When Joker was released, I mean this last Joker film, when Joker was released, a lot of people were saying how it would just be one film. Everybody expected just to be one standalone, epic, incredible film. And that's, I think, what we just all wanted. Also because it's so detached from the comic side of the Batman films. This is a regular drama film. You could even not know who Batman is to watch it, in order to watch it. And then when it came out and it was so successful, so commercially successful, there were immediately talks for a sequel. And that's a lot of money involved. Imagine a sequel to the Joker potentially involving Batman. Because in the film, Batman is a kid. He's just a little kid. Imagine if the film carried on with an older Batman. And I'm somehow, I think that at one point they're going to do it, and I really hope they don't. Although I would love to see it, at the same time, I think Joker was a finished product in itself. It would ruin it by doing a sequel, because then somebody would want even like the third chapter, and it would be dragging it out a little too long. I don't know. It's a little, because, for example, Dark Knight, so the second film in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, that film can be seen as a standalone movie. You can take it out from context. I think a lot of people even watched it without watching the other two films, first one and the third one. But still, the trilogy makes sense. There's an evolution in the character of Batman along the three films. Joker kind of feels like it was all perfect in itself. I don't know if we actually need a sequel to it. Your favorite science fiction film? We will have to quote here the usual Interstellar, the film that you can see behind me. You could, ma allora lo fai apposta, non aver visto mai quello che ti chiedo io. Puoi smentirmi? Yeah, mi dispiace. So somebody's commenting saying, well, sminuirmi, that I've never seen anything you've seen. I'm sorry, I am really terrible because I've always seen pretty odd things back at my time. Now, I know I've tried to explain this more than once. Years ago, I didn't used to watch so many films because I didn't have the internet at my house. I didn't have the Wi-Fi. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have anything. And the only way I had of watching films was walking down to the library, so going to the library, renting out DVDs, bringing them home and watching them. So I was basically relying on what the library had. And although I was picking out the maximum number you could take at the time, so I was picking out like 5 DVDs at a time and watching them like in one day and then going back, still the offer they had was pretty limited. It's not like just having Netflix now. And, you know, at home, I couldn't just turn on the TV and start watching all these films. You know, it was a bit difficult in my household to do that. So a lot of films that are pretty famous, I haven't watched them yet. I've been catching up over the years now. So a lot of the big films, I've never seen them, but then I've seen maybe some really weird, you know, odd films from or on burned DVDs my classmates made and borrowed. But yeah, science fiction film, it would have to be, I guess, Interstellar. Although I did a phase in which I wanted to tear down my Interstellar poster, which was when sorry for the noise, which was when I watched the 2001 A Space Odyssey. I had a bit of an angry moment about that. Interstellar bellissimo, infinito e intimo. Esattamente, lo descriverei proprio così. Do you think Jake Gyllenhaal is underrated? I don't think he's underrated. He might be underrated in recent, not underrated, but he isn't in a lot of recent films. He tends to be in very few films at the moment. He did a phase, I think, when between, I don't know, 2010 and I don't know, 2015, 2016, in which he was in a lot of films. And he's always been very popular. I don't think he's underrated. Just now, he's not considered as much. A lot of people don't actually talk about him now as much as they used to. They used to back at the time. I'm going to drink some more water with this annoying ASMR noise. I think I'm going to wrap it up now just because the noise outside is just getting stronger and stronger. And then remember, in 2 days, there will be the Tenet. The Tenet review will be on Thursday because I'm going to see it on Wednesday evening. So it'll be out on Thursday evening. So hopefully we'll all watch that. And I will try to make a video which won't have spoilers in it, or I might do the first part without spoilers and then towards the end cover spoilers, because it's with Nolan films, it's pretty hard to speak about it without spoilers, but at the same time I want to make a video that everybody can watch. So that will be on Thursday. And so I'll see you there, and after that I should be back streaming over on Twitch with, so I can put up the green screen and we can share things together. And that should be easier. And so hopefully we'll see you all soon. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and see you in the next ones. Bye bye.